Hello everyone, welcome to the show. Your easy guide to English words you need to know. Let's go exploring far and near.
Imagine standing on the edge of a giant dark cliff. You look down, and the river is over 2,700 feet below you. It is a drop so massive, it could swallow the tallest skyscraper in the world.
Welcome to our deep dive into the Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park. Today, we are exploring one of the steepest, deepest, and narrowest canyons in America.
Yeah, it is an amazing place.
It really is. We want to guide you to the very best views and, share some practical travel tips for your trip. Plus, we will uncover the amazing history of the rocks here.
Right, the story of how it was made is just fascinating.
Exactly. And along the way, we will learn some really useful English phrases to help you travel safely and confidently.
I am so excited to explore this with you today.
Yeah.
When we talk about the Black Canyon, well, we really have to start with the size of it.
Yeah, the size is hard to imagine.
It is. The numbers are almost unbelievable. Like you mentioned, it is over 2,700 feet deep.
Yeah.
But here is the part that makes this canyon so different from other places.
Okay, what is that? At the very bottom, down where the river actually flows, the canyon is incredibly narrow. In some places, it is only 40 feet wide.
Wait, only 40 feet?
Yeah, just 40 feet.
Wow, that is barely the length of a normal city bus. So you have this massive deep cut in the earth, but it is squeezed super tight at the bottom.
Exactly. And because it is so narrow and, so deep, the sunlight hardly ever reaches the bottom.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Some parts of the river only get about 33 minutes of sunlight for the whole day.
Just 33 minutes. That is wild.
Right. And that is exactly why it is called the Black Canyon. The walls, well, they just look dark and shadowy almost all the time.
That paints such a powerful picture for you as a listener. I mean, you can almost feel how cold and dark it must be down there.
Oh, absolutely.
But before we get to the bottom of the canyon, let's talk about the top. Let's help you, the listener, figure out how to actually visit this place.
That is a really great place to start. The layout of this park is quite unique.
How so?
Well, because the canyon is so wide at the very top and so dangerously deep, there is no bridge across it.
Right. You cannot just drive your car from one side to the other.
Exactly. You have to drive all the way around, which takes hours.
So this brings up a really useful English word for nature travel. The word is rim. That is R-I-M.
Yes, the rim.
In English, we call the top edge of a canyon the rim. It's like the rim of a coffee cup. So when you visit the Black Canyon, you have to choose which rim you want to stand on.
Right. You have to decide between the south rim and the north rim.
Okay, so let's look at the south rim first.
Yeah, the south rim is definitely the most popular choice. If you see pictures of the park on the internet, well, you are probably looking at the south rim.
Why is this so much more popular? Is it just easier to get to?
Yes, exactly. The road on the south rim is fully paved.
Meaning it has a smooth, hard surface, right? Like a normal city street.
Right. So any rental car can drive on it very easily. And it is also close to a nice town called Montrose.
Oh, so you can easily buy gas or find a hotel nearby.
Exactly. It is very convenient.
So the South Rim is the busy, easy neighborhood of the park. What else is there?
Well, it has great facilities. There is a big visitor center where you can buy a map and ask the park rangers questions. And there is a large campground with 88 different campsites.
Okay, let's define that quickly. A campsite is just a specific spot where you can pitch a tent or, park a small camper for the night.
Right, a place to sleep outside. But the best part of the South Rim is the scenic overlooks.
Overlooks.
Yeah. An overlook is a safe place where you can park your car, walk a few steps, and just look down into the canyon from behind a strong fence.
Oh, that sounds very safe.
It is. And the South Rim has 12 of these amazing overlooks. You get to see famous spots like the incredible painted wall.
Okay, so if I rent a car and I want a smooth, easy day with lots of views, I definitely go to the South Rim.
100%.
But what if I hate crowds? What if I want to feel like I am alone in the wild?
Then you want the North Rim.
The North Rim. Okay.
Yeah, the North Rim is the quiet escape. It is almost the exact opposite of the South Rim. First of all, the road is not paved. It is a gravel road.
Ah, so it is covered in small, loose stones and dirt.
Very dusty dirt, yeah. So you have to drive much slower.
And your car gets completely covered in dust.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And the North Rim is far away from big towns. Because it is harder to reach, very few people go there.
Wow, so it is really quiet.
Extremely quiet. The South Rim gets thousands of people, but the North Rim only has 13 campsites.
Wait, only 13 spots to sleep in that huge area.
Yeah, just 13. The National Park Service keeps it small on purpose. They really want to protect that wild feeling. It is for people who want to hear the wind, not other tourists.
That sounds beautiful.
It really is. Plus, it has one of the best hiking trails called Exclamation Point. It gives you a view that makes you just want to shout out loud.
Well, that sounds amazing. But let me ask a practical question for our travelers. Let's say you only have one single day to visit. You were driving across Colorado, and you can only stop for a few hours. Which side should you choose?
If you only have one day, you definitely go to the South Rim.
Okay, South Rim.
Yeah. You can drive the smooth roads, stop at the 12 overlooks, and really understand the size of the canyon quickly.
That makes perfect sense. Now, let's say I want to visit the quiet North Rim, and I want to sleep in one of those 13 campsites.
Okay, good luck.
Right. How do we make sure I get one? Can I just, pull out my phone and reserve a spot on the internet?
No, you cannot. And this catches a lot of travelers by surprise. You cannot book those 13 campsites online.
Oh, really? How does it work then?
They use a system that we call first come, first served.
Oh, first come, first served. That is a great travel skills 101 phrase to learn. It is so useful for national parks and even for restaurants.
Yeah, you hear it all the time.
So it means the very first person who arrives gets the first spot, and the second person gets the second spot.
Right. Exactly. So if you show up at the North Rim at 8 o'clock at night, all 13 spots will probably be full.
So I get nothing. I can't just complain and say, but I drove all day to get here.
Nope. The ranger will just smile and tell you it is first come, first served.
Wow. Okay. So you really have to wake up early, drive up that dusty road, and be the first person there.
Exactly.
That is a great tip. So to wrap up the layout, the South Rim is paved, easy, and busy. The North Rim is dirt, quiet, and wild.
That is the perfect summary.
So now that we know where to stand on the edge, let's look down. We really need to talk about the history. How did this massive dark hole get here in the first place?
Oh, this is my favorite part. The story of this canyon is really about the extreme power of water and time.
Water and time, okay.
Right. To understand it, we have to go way back. Millions of years ago, long before there was a canyon, this whole area was covered by huge volcanoes.
Volcanoes, so they erupt and cover the ground in something.
Yes. They erupted and covered the land in a very thick layer of volcanic ash. And over millions of years, this ash turned into a soft kind of rock.
So the grounds are just a thick gray blanket of soft rock.
Exactly. Then the Gunnison River begins to flow over this land. Because the river is moving fast and the volcanic rock is soft, the water easily washes the rock away. It starts to cut a deep path.
That makes sense. Water washes away soft things.
Right. But eventually the river washes away all the soft ash and it hits the bottom layer.
Oh. And what is the bottom layer?
The bottom layer is a completely different kind of rock. It is an incredibly hard, dark rock that is over 2 billion years old.
Wait, 2 billion?
Yes, 2 billion. It is some of the oldest, hardest rock in North America.
Okay, hold on. I understand water washing away soft ash. We see rain wash away soft dirt all the time.
Yeah.
But you were saying the river hit 2 billion-year-old solid rock,
Yeah.
and the water just kept cutting through it.
Yep, it kept right on going.
But how does water cut solid rock?
Well, it takes two things, gravity and a lot of time. The Gunnison River drops very steeply, so the water moves incredibly fast.
Okay, fast water.
But the water isn't just liquid. The river is carrying thousands of little stones, hard rocks, and tiny pieces of sand.
Oh, I see. So the river is acting like a giant piece of liquid sandpaper.
Exactly. It is nature sandpaper.
So the fast water throws the sand and rocks against the hard stone, and it scratches it away little by little.
You got it. For over 2 million years, the rushing water rubbed the sand and stones against that hard rock. It slowly carved the deep canyon we see today.
That is incredible. Let's use an analogy to really make this clear for our listeners.
Sure.
Imagine a very patient artist. This artist is holding a special tool that shoots a powerful stream of water. They use this water like a knife. Very, very slowly, day after day, they spray the water at a giant piece of extremely hard wood.
That is a great picture.
Right. It takes millions of years, but eventually the water cuts a deep, thin line right down the middle of the hardwood.
That is a perfect way to explain it. And, that is why the Black Canyon looks so different from a place like the Grand Canyon.
Oh, how is it different?
Well, the Grand Canyon is very wide because the rock there is softer. The sides crumbled and fell down over time. But the rock in the Black Canyon is so hard that it didn't crumble. The water cut straight down and the walls stayed perfectly straight up.
That explains why it's so terrifyingly steep.
Yeah.
It didn't widen out at all. It just sliced straight down.
Exactly.
You mentioned the painted wall earlier. Is that one of these straight, hard walls?
It is the most impressive one. The painted wall is the tallest vertical rock wall in the entire state of Colorado.
Wow. How tall is it?
It stands 2,250 feet straight up from the river.
2,250 feet. Just to put that in perspective, that is much taller than the Empire State Building in New York.
Yes, it is massive. Just a straight wall of rock.
Why do they call it the painted wall, though?
Because of how it looks. The main rock is very dark, almost black. But millions of years ago, hot liquid rock pushed its way through the cracks in the dark stone.
Oh, so it added colors.
Exactly. When it cooled, it formed these beautiful, bright pink and white stripes running across the cliff. It literally looks like a giant used a paintbrush to sweep bright colors across a dark wall.
That sounds absolutely beautiful.
It really is a must-see.
But, a place this extreme also sounds dangerous. So we talked about the top rim and the deep river. Let's talk about what visitors should actually do, and more importantly, what they need to avoid.
That is very important.
Let's start with the safe, must-do activities. What can anyone do safely?
Well, the safest and actually the most surprising activity happens after the sun goes down. Stargazing.
Stargazing. Looking up at the night sky. Why is a canyon a good place to look at the stars?
Because the Black Canyon is an official international dark sky park.
Oh, a dark sky park. What does that mean?
It is a special title given to places that have almost zero light pollution. There are no city street lights, no bright buildings, and no car lights to ruin the view.
So when the sun sets, the sky becomes completely dark.
Right. Incredibly dark.
That must make the stars pop out so clearly.
It does. If
Yeah.
you visit in the summer on a clear night, you don't even need a telescope. You can look up and clearly see the Milky Way galaxy stretching across the whole sky.
Just a glowing cloud of millions of stars. That sounds so peaceful.
It is magic.
Okay, so stargazing is safely on the list.
Right.
What about during the daytime? If I want to stay safe on the rim, what should I do?
You should definitely walk some of the easy trails right along the top edge. The Rimrock Trail is a great example.
So it is safe.
Yes, it is flat, very well maintained, and perfectly safe for anyone. And while you walk, you can look for the local wildlife.
Wildlife is always a highlight of visiting a national park. What kind of animals live near this giant cliff?
Well, if you look closely at the rocks, you might see a yellow-bellied marmot.
A yellow-bellied marmot. I love that name. What does it look like?
It looks a bit like a very large, fat squirrel. They love to lie flat on the warm rocks in the sun. They're very cute.
Oh, okay. What else?
You might also hear coyotes howling in the early morning. But the most impressive animal is actually up in the sky, the peregrine falcon.
The falcon. That is a type of hunting bird, right?
Yeah.
Like a small hawk.
Yes, and the Black Canyon is the perfect home for them because they love to build their nests high up on steep cliffs.
Oh, perfect for them then.
Exactly. And the peregrine falcon is famous because it is the fastest bird, actually the fastest animal in the entire world.
Really? How fast?
When it dives down from the sky to catch its food, it can fly over 200 miles per hour.
200 miles per hour. That is as fast as a race car.
Ah,
Imagine watching a bird dive off a 2,000-foot cliff at that speed.
it is quite a sight.
So, staying on the top rim, hiking flat trails, watching marmots, and looking at stars, that all sounds wonderful and completely safe. But what about the people who want to go down? What are the dangerous activities?
This is where we have to be very serious. Do not go into the inner canyon unless you are a highly trained professional.
The inner canyon, meaning leaving the safe top rim and traveling all the way down to the river.
Correct.
Why is it so dangerous? Is there no path?
There are absolutely no maintained paths. There are no safe trails at all. If you try to hike down, you are essentially sliding down steep dirt, climbing over huge boulders, and fighting through thick bushes.
That sounds awful.
It is extremely hard, and rock climbing on the walls is incredibly dangerous too.
Really? Why is rock climbing bad here? People climb cliffs all the time.
Because the rock here is not always solid on the surface. There's a lot of loose rock.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, if a climber pulls on a piece of stone, the stone might easily break off in their hand. That causes them to fall, and it drops heavy rocks onto anyone climbing below them.
That sounds terrifying. Well, what about the river itself? Can I just, bring a kayak and float down the water?
Absolutely not. The Gunnison River inside the Black Canyon has violent, dangerous rapids.
Dangerous rapids.
Yes. The water crashes over huge, sharp rocks. Only world-class professional kayakers can survive those waters. It is definitely not a lazy river ride.
Okay, this brings us to an incredibly important travel skills lesson. We need to talk about some logistics. Logistics means the practical planning and the rules of a trip.
Right?
If you are an expert and you really want to hike to the bottom, you can't just park your car and start walking down, can you?
No, you cannot. You need special permission from the government. You have to get something called a wilderness use permit.
Let's break that phrase down. A permit is an official piece of paper. It gives you legal permission to do something that is normally restricted.
Exactly.
So a wilderness use permit is permission to enter the dangerous, wild area of the park. How do you get one?
You have to go to the visitor center and speak directly to a park ranger.
Okay, so you walk up to the desk and say, "Excuse me, I would like to request a wilderness use permit for the inner canyon."
Right.
But the ranger isn't just going to hand it to you, right? What do?
The ranger's going to ask you a lot of serious questions. They will ask if you have enough water, if you have survival gear, and if you have ever done this kind of extreme hiking before.
They want to be sure you are ready.
Yes. They want to make sure you know what you are doing, because once you go down, there is no easy way back up.
That actually leads me to a funny but serious question. Let's say I am standing on the safe, paved south rim. I am drinking from my expensive metal water bottle. And oops, I drop it.
Oh, no.
It bounces and falls down the cliff. Should I try to hike down and get it?
You must leave it. Let the canyon have it. Do not risk your life for a water bottle.
Good advice.
The park has a very strict rule for the inner canyon, and it is called self-rescue.
Self-rescue, that is a very powerful phrase. To rescue means to save someone from danger. So self-rescue means you have to save yourself.
Yes.
Why is that the rule? Don't the rangers have helicopters?
Well, the canyon is so incredibly narrow, and the walls are so steep that a helicopter often cannot fly down into it safely.
Oh, wow. I didn't think of that.
And there are no roads for an ambulance. So if you break your leg at the bottom of the canyon, it might take a team of professional rescuers several days to pull you out with ropes.
Several days.
Yes. So the rule of self-rescue means you must be prepared to fix your own injuries and find your own way out. You are completely on your own.
That is the ultimate warning. Do not go down there unless you are ready to be totally alone in an emergency.
Exactly.
So we have talked a lot about the summer. We talked about warm nights, looking at the stars, and hiking on the dusty trails. But this park is high in the mountains of Colorado. What happens to this extreme environment when winter comes?
Winter in the Black Canyon is a completely different world. It is just fascinating. The park doesn't ever officially close, but the snow completely changes how you can experience it.
How so?
Well, first, remember that gravel road on the North Rim?
The dusty one with the 13 campsites.
Right. When the heavy snow falls, that road closes to cars completely for the whole winter. You cannot drive there at all.
Oh, wow.
And on the busy South Rim, the smooth paved road gets covered in deep, heavy snow too.
So the roads are blocked by snow. Does that mean tourists just stop coming?
Most of them do, which makes it wonderfully quiet. But for the people who do visit, the snow brings a whole new set of activities. You cannot drive, but you can ski.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. The South Rim Road becomes a trail for cross-country skiing.
Cross-country skiing is different from normal skiing, right? You aren't sliding down a steep mountain. You have long, thin skis on your feet, and you push yourself across flat, snowy land.
Exactly. It is a great workout, and if you don't know how to ski, you can put on snowshoes.
Let's explain snowshoes, because it is a really great word. A snowshoe is not a normal shoe.
No, not at all.
It is a large, wide tool that you strap onto the bottom of your winter boots. It looks almost like a small, flat tennis racket.
That is a great description.
Because it is so wide, it spreads your weight out. It
Right.
stops your feet from sinking deep into the soft snow.
Right, lets you walk right on top of the snow. Sometimes park rangers lead guided snowshoe walks. Walking through the winter forests on the rim with snowshoes on is just a magical experience.
I can imagine.
Everything is covered in white snow. It
Yeah.
is completely silent.
It sounds incredibly peaceful. You know, it is such a strong contrast to the violent, roaring river smashing against the rocks at the bottom.
It really is.
The top is silent snow, and the bottom is raging water. And actually, this brings up another really interesting English word for winter travel.
Oh, what is that?
When the park prepares the snowy road for the skiers, They use a big machine to flatten the snow. This is called grooming.
Grooming the snow.
Right. Yes. Now, usually, the word grooming means brushing hair. You groom a dog to make its fur look nice, or a person grooms their hair and beard.
Yeah, that is how we normally use it.
But in winter sports, grooming means driving a machine over the snow to make it perfectly smooth, packed down, and flat for skiing.
It is interesting how the language changes.
It is. It is so interesting how English takes a word about brushing hair and uses it for preparing a road of snow.
Well, it makes sense, though. You are combing the snow to make it neat. A nicely groomed trail makes cross-country skiing much easier and a lot more enjoyable.
Well, we have covered so much ground today. We traveled from the busy, paved South Rim to the wild, dusty North Rim.
We sure did.
We learned how water acts like liquid sandpaper to cut through 2-billion-year-old rock. We talked about the fastest bird in the world, the terrifying rule of self-rescue, and, walking on snowshoes in the quiet winter. The Black Canyon of the Gunnison is truly a place of massive extremes.
It really is a park that demands your respect. It is beautiful, but it is raw and wild.
Definitely.
Before we finish our deep dive today, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay, let's hear it.
We have spent a lot of time talking about standing on the top rim, looking down safely, but I want you to use your imagination one last time. Picture yourself as one of the very first early explorers of this land, long before there were any roads or maps.
Wow.
Imagine you have hiked to the very bottom of that 2,700-foot canyon. It is midnight. You are standing next to the violent river. You look straight up.
It must be so dark.
It is. The dark rock walls are so incredibly tall, and the canyon is so impossibly narrow that you can only see a tiny, thin slice of the starry sky far, far above you.
Just a tiny line of stars.
Exactly. Surrounded by solid rock, standing in the dark, how small would you feel?
What a beautiful and humbling image to end on. Thank you for exploring this incredible place with us today. The world is a huge, amazing place, and now you have the English phrases and the knowledge you need to go out and experience it safely. Remember to always respect nature, and please never try to rescue a dropped water bottle. Keep practicing your English, keep exploring, and we will see you on the next deep dive.